Hello everyone, dear Autogefühl fans. Today I'm presenting you the all-new Seat Leon X-Perience. What is this car actually? Well, you maybe know the Seat Leon. You have it as a 3-door version, as a 5-door version and as a ST version, Seat Leon ST. This is the E-State version. And this is also the basis of this car. So you put the Seat Leon ST, add some off-road features from the optical side, like the black plastic fenders, and also from the technical side we got a serial all-wheel drive in there now, and you combine it with a higher trim level, exterior and interior, and also the higher engines, and then you get the Seat Leon X-Perience. You can compare it, for example, to the Audi Allroad models or the Skoda Octavia Scout. So this actually at the moment is the best Seat can do, besides their performance models, the Cupra models, and this will be very interesting to find out at what kind of status Seat is actually at the moment. Are they maybe already a little bit premium when you pick the highest trim levels, and what can they do against the fierce competition from inside the Volkswagen corporation? From the outside we see these black plastic elements here, and they symbolize, okay, I'm the off-road car, I can take some scratches and it will be no problem. And it's also going around the wheels, and this is kind of this classic design of these all-road cars, as for Audi for example, and called X-Perience now here in this case. At this car here we got 18-inch alloys. They also got this dramatic design. I find it very beautiful. Serial with this Seat Leon X-Perience comes 17-inch alloys, so this one is an option. What is very dramatic also about the Seat Leon ST? Well, I usually love cars which have one clear design line. In this case we got one design line here, and the second one is starting right here, so it's kind of separated. But in this case it really looks good, because it gives the car something special, and more from this dynamic attitude also conveyed over the front mirrors here. At the rear we got the X-Perience logo and also the 4Drive logo. Says it has an all-wheel drive here, and you know, every manufacturer needs its own name for the all-wheel drive. It's starting to get a little bit boring, but let's just try to say it's all-wheel drive, and that's okay. And of course we got this off-road style, well, rear diffuser here. It's not a diffuser, it's just here a plastic part, but it adds more to this off-road look. And we also got 2 pipes at the rear end from serial production with this car. The color of this particular car here is Monsun Grey, and I also think this design here on the hood is very special, because it separates the car on the front side in a symmetric way. And let's look now what's underneath that hood. We don't have hydraulic dampers. I always dislike that when we don't have it, so we have to attach it here manually. In this case we got a modern TDI here, turbo diesel, There are actually 3 diesels available for this car, for the Seat Leon ST. There are even more ones, but you know, we got a high trim level car here, so we also only have the highest engines. It starts with a 1.6 liter TDI with 110 horsepower. That's the entry version. It's at 28,750 euros in Germany, the entry price for the Seat Leon X-Perience. And this now here is a 2 liter TDI. We get it in 2 versions. The first one here has 150 horsepower, and there's also the top of the line version with 184 horsepower. This one here with 150 horsepower comes with a 6-speed manual transmission, and the higher, the best diesel, or well, it's maybe not the best diesel, but at least the most powerful diesel, comes automatically with a 6-speed DSG. All these diesels are supposed to have low consumption. We'll check that very soon. And as an alternative, you also can pick a petrol engine, 1.8 liter, and this one also has 180 horsepower then. So this would also be possible. By the way, to test the detail quality of a car, I always like to do one test. If you put the door handle and then see how much is it possible to move it around here. Here it's kind of fixed. And sometimes you find cars where you can move it like up here and down there again. And so this one shows also, at least for me, a very great quality because it's kind of fixed and makes a very solid impression. So from the exterior, I think this one here, Seat Leon ST, or also here the X-Perience version or the off-road version, is one of the most beautiful E-States on the market, at least in this price segment, because there's also the Jaguar XF Sport Brake or the Mercedes CLS Shooting Brake, which are also very beautiful, but also cost double the price. So, and for the interior, I think they have also done a lot here. Of course, as we're used from Seat, it's a rather clean design. There isn't too much to see. So it's all concentrating on the basic features, and I like this simplicity because you don't have some element here, some element there. It's not annoying anywhere, so it's pretty simple, but also high quality wise. And my favorite are the seats here. The basic equipment of the Seat Leon X-Perience is a mix of leather look on the outside and textile on the inside. And then you have several options. For example, 1,500 euros you can pick the full leather seats, or just about 500 euros you can pick this version here. And this is my favorite because you got the Alcantara on the inside and the artificial leather on the outside. You don't really need genuine leather on the outside. Who needs that? It's really not necessary, come on. And then this Alcantara on the inside is perfect for all the climate functions and also for the comfort, because in the summer times, especially important in Spain, which is the most important market for Seat, you don't sweat on it so much as you would do on full leather seats. And then in the winter it doesn't get cold as leather. And I think it's also, just from the quality outlook, it makes a very, very good image in my opinion, this Alcantara. I really love the Alcantara style. And also the seating comfort is very, very great, because when you're driving corners you got good support, you don't slide on it around so much. And it also gives you some kind of comfortable feeling just when sitting on it. Then let's get to the steering wheel. We know it already from the basic Seat Leon models. It's a very nice sporty steering wheel. And in this case we got some more color elements, as we have already seen from the seats. We got some orange contrast stitching here, and we also got them right here at the steering wheel. And furthermore, in addition to the stitches, we got the X-Perience logo here. It reminds me a little bit of the X-Men logo, you know, from the X-Men movies. I'm not sure, is it a mutant car? I don't know. I hope not, but maybe it has some special features. So, and the rest from the interior you can better see it from this view here. Actually, the multimedia unit is not the newest one, as we know. Maybe, for example, you've seen the new Volkswagen Passat video from us lately. You can't really compare it. It's relatively small. You can also pick a 5.8-inch screen with a little bit optional price. But I think it's also good with this car that if you pick something extra even more, the additional features are not as expensive as with other brands, and that's also very good. In this case here, this car, if you equip it with some more features, you maybe go with 30,000, 32,000 euros, and then you really got the very fully equipped car, and that's still a very attractive price in my opinion. So you've maybe seen it here once. We got this proximity sensor here. So when I move my hand, I can pick the different options here in the touchscreen. And you know, everyone uses a GPS or multimedia system in a different way. So we also got the options to use the short keys here, and also the touchscreen. So we are not focused on one single solution. We got both. As I said, it's not the most modern, it's not the biggest one, but actually everything you need, Bluetooth connection, you will find here. So you will get along with it and you won't miss any option, in my opinion. And which is also good, I think, the climate control. I love it when the climate control is not functioning over the touchscreen, and you could just still got this classic buttons and levers here to control it very fast. In this case, I told you we got the 150 horsepower diesel here, and so we got the manual transmission here with the 4-drive shifting lever. It's also a very nice detail. Also that we got the orange contour stitches here as well. And I'm looking forward now to drive this one because, well, the manual transmissions from the Volkswagen corporations, at least for me, they are always very smooth in my experience. Now let us experience what the new Seat Leon X-Perience can do. Experience. So some last sentences to the interior, because we also got the rear compartment in the trunk. About the rear compartment, I think it's very great that we also got the Alcantara style here at the rear seats. And we're still in the compact segment here. Seat Leon is a competitor to the Volkswagen Golf, for example. And we got the front seats here now that I can very well comfortable sit here in the front. And so the space for knees, it isn't too much, but hey, for the compact segment, that's perfectly fine. And also the seating position is, I think, okay. I wouldn't recommend it for the longest trips here with adults in the back, but I mean, really no problem, especially a lot of headroom because we got the E-State version here. That's of course one of the main advantages here for the rear compartment. So, and here they also have paid attention to details. For example, we got the Alcantara surface here also in the rear compartment at the inside of the doors, and you rarely find that, and I think it's a very, very clever solution because you have so much black plastic always in modern cars. Or if you pick the luxury version, they are slaughtering 20 cows just to make the leather on the inside here. And this one here, the Alcantara on the inside, looks great, looks high quality, and still isn't costing too much money. So, and another detail, especially important for Spain, and nowadays with climate change, it always sometimes gets hot in Germany. We got the sunshade here, and it's also kind of robust, also just how it functions, and I think it's also a very clever solution. Of course, we got as from the serial production here with the X-Perience, the climatronic, so we got the we can also control the temperature on the front, of course, but still, if you got the direct sunlight, it's also good, especially when you got children here in the back. Finally, let's get to the trunk. Classic opening mechanism as we know from the Golf, or also from the normal Seat Leon. From the serial production we got this aluminium cover here, which is very beautiful, so also to add some design elements for the trunk. Just from this basic setup we got 587 liters of capacity. Then again, paying attention to detail, and that everything also from the practical functions work very flawlessly. You just press a little bit and it slides back automatically, because sometimes when you got these trunk covers here, they're a little bit loose and you sometimes have problems to get it thrown in the back again. Here it's really pretty easily done. So, and then you already see, okay, because of the design line, you know, it folds down, we lose a little bit of the trunk, of course. There are also like these E-states which are really like angulary and you have more space, okay. But you always have to find a compromise between great look on the outside and space on the inside. And we got a very wide space here to put things in. And there's also a nice possibility to flip the seats. We see it right here, it's on both sides. It's also quite easy, also when you don't have so much power in your hands. Then you get it flipped, and when we take a look at here, then we can even enlarge the space here to 1,475 liters. Let me just check it from the rear seat, if we can put it to one level. See, if I can push it down here. It's no problem. It's not kind of one level, not 100%, but I would say 99%, so nothing to moan about. Very well done here as well. You can even buy furniture with this compact car, that's also no problem. You might have seen also, we got 1/3, 2/3 separation here, and we also got the ski hatch here in the middle. So hello again. This is also another possibility, that you can actually sit with two people and maybe go skiing and put your skiers here right in the middle, all through here. So, the first driving impressions here now. We are not off-road yet, we got a small off-road course later, so stay on for that of course. But we can use the off-road capabilities, because we got this 50mm higher suspension, also here in the city. Because you know, even when a community makes perfect roads, they think, okay, we have to break down the cars again and have to put all the speed bumps in the road. And it's very annoying those days. But here now, when you get a little bit higher suspension, you don't have to be so, well, so anxious about going over these speed bumps, because you can go over them at a little bit higher speed and don't really have to care about if you do some damage to your car. And that, I think, is one good advantage here in the city already, if you got this crossover kind of car. And then the steering wheel, well, it looked kind of same as from the normal Seat Leon or Seat Leon SC, the 3-door version, but it's not that slim. It's a little bit bigger here, around here, and so that adds more to this kind of off-road feeling, and it's not so in that sporty direction. Also that you sit a little bit higher and the suspension is a little bit higher, well, it's not that a big difference, but still it kind of de-accelerates you, so you don't feel like, okay, I got this sporty racing attitude here, like for example you have in the Seat Leon SC. I think this is a very sporty car in this compact segment. You also feel more sporty than other compact cars in that one there. But here you don't feel like going so fast. We got this 150 horsepower diesel here. It gives you enough acceleration that you can, for example, overtake some Spanish cyclists which are cycling here in a group. But still, you know, it's rather calm engine and you more feel like cruising. Also maybe set the cruise control. The ACC, the automatic cruise control, is optional, by the way. You need some 500 euros to top it up. So about this particular ACC, I've tested it now in the city as well, and there's one very big flaw again, As I already said in the Volvo XC60 video, Volvo and Mercedes offer this perfect system which can really break down till a standstill, and that is very important because you either should have this one that can do, you know, fixed speed limit, and then you have to brake yourself, or the systems that really break down no matter what. In this case, when we reach a speed of 20 kilometers, the system fails and he says, okay, you have to brake yourself now. I mean, what is this? It breaks down to 40 kilometers or so, or 30, and then at 20 kilometers it stops. So you can't really rely on it completely, and I think this one is a very big flaw of that system, because you can only say, okay, only in the motorway, but then again there shouldn't be a traffic jam, and that was, I think, this one is very dangerous. We also got some new assistant systems here. For example, we got an active lane assist. It's not only a lane assist that warns us, but if I just test it here, let go of the steering wheel, see I get to the right side too much, and he helps me a little bit to steer against it. That you know, it can happen that you fall asleep while driving, and that is also a good safety feature then. About the 6-speed gearbox, I am pretty convinced about that one. 4th gear now, we put it in 5th gear now. It's very smooth, you don't feel any resistance when shifting, very flawless shifting, and so I would also recommend this engine here, and that you can only go for the manual transmission here. Well, it's not so bad, you won't really miss the automatic transmission if you got a manual transmission that shifts that flawlessly. And about this engine in general, this 150 horsepower diesel 2-liter is really enough, I would say, especially in combination with this car, because it's obviously not a racing car, and it's just for cruising, taking all your family, maybe especially for the skiing holidays, because you got a lot of space in the back here, and you also got the off-road capabilities. And so I would maybe not recommend that you have to go for the 184 horsepower diesel. You should only go for that one if you really want to have the DSG. I'm also a fan of the dual clutch transmission and automatic gearbox in general, yes, but as I said, with this flawless manual transmission you will also get along, because, you know, with the 184 horsepower diesel it already gets a little bit expensive with some extras, maybe if at the panoramic roof, which is also available, 1,500 euros extra here in Germany. Then you already get in regions 35,000 euros maybe for the whole car then, and that already gets a little bit expensive. Then you could maybe also move up a segment or go to another brand maybe. And Seat will also not focus so much on these rather expensive cars, because Seat is always standing now for basic good Volkswagen quality, and also long run, and also very well done interiors, but still attractive prices. And so this top of the line model here will also remain at a very low split. In Germany and in Britain, the E-State versions are always very important, of course, and so also the experience will take some part, especially in these markets. But in general, this car is more kind of an image factor, in my opinion, to really show what Seat is capable of doing, and if you really love the brand and want to have the maximum the brand can offer. Another thing I have to criticize here is GPS, because the visual display is, in my opinion, not very good. I already told you in the interior overview, but now if we are really here while driving, I've already taken a wrong route, maybe once or maybe also even twice now, because you just got a very bad overview. You can't hardly see where you really have to go. So I'm not a fan of that one. We also switched to a DSG version here now, which is, in my opinion, better for off-road driving, because you have to go very slow, and then you always don't have to clutch in and clutch out. So you just have the foot on the throttle and do slight accelerations here on off-road terrain. So it's, I think if you go often quite a lot, you should probably go for the DSG then, because it's just easier to drive. It looks a little bit different here now. We got the 4Drive logo here. Don't have it on the shifting lever, and this one is this classical DSG shifting lever. Reverse, neutral and drive, and we can also go to sport mode. And well, I must say here, when driving off-road, okay, it is practical, yes, because you just have to use the throttle. But I had some situations where it sets in and then has some second delay before the power really sets in. So what do you need the all-wheel drive actually for? On road driving you need it rather seldom. Well, maybe in winter times, and if you go to the ski holiday, famous ski holiday, then you can actually need it. And for example, when we had one uphill situation on the road where we standing still uphill because we had to stop because of traffic and then accelerate again. Usually we would have wheel spin then, maybe on front wheels, because this one is predominantly front wheel driven. But with the all-wheel drive we can also have the acceleration, and we are all for wheel. We don't have wheel spin in the front wheels because this one here is now front plus rear. Yes, kind of transmission, a clutch in the middle in here, which also gives torque to the rear wheels, but just if needed. So the standard setup is front wheel drive. Just if they detect wheel spin at the front, even before it happens, also torque is directed to the back. And now we are, actually this is kind of the surrounding of a motocross track, you know. Maybe some of you know I used to drive motocross myself in the past, so I also love this surroundings here. And I must say, just for a crossover, not in an SUV, but for a crossover, it's also quite comfortable to drive with this car off-road, and you really don't have to be afraid that you damage something at the back of the car. Of course, you always have to go slow, yes, but it's always, when you get a low car, it's always possible that you damage something at the lower end of the car. But here it's really no problem. This 50 millimeters higher suspension really helps you here. So this car, by the way, this is not only DSG and with a 184 horsepower 2-liter diesel engine. This color here is a different one than the grey we had. This one is called Adventure Brown. It's something like the launch color of the Seat Leon X-Perience. And so, to let me sum up the car for you, we had some nice off-road experience now, and I must say the off-road capabilities are higher than I actually expected. This kind of ground clearance is really enough also to take all the obstacles we faced here today. That was very interesting. And in general, about road driving, the suspension is really superb. We had a great comfort while riding, and I also think it's a good family car because you have a lot of space in the rear compartment. The interior in general is very clean and also shows us some great quality. And also engine-wise and shifting also with the smaller diesel engine. Everything, I must say, is very well done, and I think it's a very great price for that kind of car. Of course, it is high trim level already, And not so many people going for Seat will go for the Seat Leon X-Perience because it's really the top end of the brand. But it showed us today how far the brand can really go, and I think I got a very good impression from that. It is not really the premium segment already, but you know, for example, the contrast stitches we saw, and also the Alcantara surfaces at the inside of the doors and also from the seat, that gives us some premium elements, even if we are not in the premium segment yet, of course. This one will remain a very good alternative, especially here in the compact segment. In Germany and Great Britain, the Estate and also the X-Perience will maybe be even more successful than anywhere else. And I think you should really watch out for Seat if you want to have a very good price-performance ratio. And that also accounts for the Seat Leon X-Perience here. So thank you again very much for watching Autogefühl. We want to hear your comments on that car. What do you think about the exterior, the interior, and also everything else you saw? And we always appreciate your feedback. So stay tuned and watch another Autogefühl episode. You'll also find episodes on the sides here and there, linked in the video description, whatever. Click on our other episodes, and we are really happy to have you as our viewers. Thank you very much again, and see you at the next episode.